We're live.
We're live. I love that little broadcast is live.
Yes. Oh, so anybody who's tuning in, this is our weekly office hours from One More Page Books. So I'm back in the corner by the water fountain, wherever it is back there. And Kelly is joining us from her house.
The One More Page annex.
Yes, exactly. And we are going, so office hours are always open. If anybody has questions, drop them in comments or the chat on YouTube. And we're happy to help if you're trying to figure out some gifts for someone in your life. Especially today, we're going to be talking about younger kids, so elementary and below. Some ideas. Kelly's pretty much going to lead this because I'm been processing orders all day.
I have a really long list, and I've got stuff for babies, I got stuff for toddlers, early readers, I've got stuff up to middle grade, so this will be great. But definitely ask questions, and I'm happy to answer.
Awesome. What I want to do first is one, thank everyone so much. Last weekend was Small Business Saturday, and if you haven't seen Amanda's panic video earlier this week,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but
yeah, it's it's all wonderful news, but now we're having to complete all these orders. So if you didn't hear, we got more than twice the number of orders in 2 days that we usually get in a month. So have been as we're online. Yes.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from the bottom of our panicked, intense hearts right now.
Right. As Amanda explained, normally Small Business Saturday, it's like a crush that day, but then it's over because people are in the store buying and then they go home. And this year it's all online. And so not everything's in the store. And so we have to figure out what we can get from publishers, what we can get from the warehouse, what we have on the shelf, what we just can't get. So it's a lot of work, but we thank everybody for your patience as we get through it. We've been counting down the number of pages on the website of orders, and we're down at least to the single digits of, I think, 8 pages of orders now we still have to go through.
Go, crew, go!
Well, let me just give you a little look at what that looks like. A little bit of this is Small Business Saturday. So this area over here, all these bags are just orders that are waiting for items to be picked up, as is that shelf on the end. So things that we're definitely still waiting for. We have had to expand the pickup area.
Wow, look at that.
On the floor. There's 4 different alphabets. That's right. We have to go check. So it's on both sides. We have a hallway of pickup orders. And yes, 4 different alphabets. And then our shipping area. Ooh, look at that. Clean table.
Hello.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's some that are down here that we're comparing.
Yes, we do have a wrapping section.
I love the candy bags stuck in the important essential supplies for supporting the shippers and packers.
Yeah, I feel like this week has been the first week where we're all like, I got to have candy.
So, I mean, it's the holiday season. You got to do what you need to do to get through it. Oh, there's the wrapping station.
There's our wrapping station. Our decimated chocolate station. We're expecting chocolate soon.
Oh, the Lake Champlain chocolates have been huge hits in my house over the pandemic.
So y'all have cleared us out of chocolate. So we're expecting more soon, though. So.
Good stocking stuffers.
Oh, and this is the delivery area. So we've got partial orders there that are all being home delivered. And Eileen's out right now in her car delivering the completed delivery orders.
In the rain. Brave soul. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in the back office with no window all day, so I don't know what it looks like.
I know the front of the store is all festive and decorative, but we've got covers covering it for a little bit of privacy and to make sure people don't think they can come in the store because we're still closed. So it is a little bit not as connected to the outside world for safety reasons, of course, but also a little isolating.
And we thank everybody for their patience with it. I mean, we've doing the best we can. So, but that's the part of this is it's all still the same number of staff, even if it's that many more orders. So
yeah,
there have been some long days this week.
You guys are doing amazing. Keep hitting that chocolate. You can do it.
That's right.
We're rooting for you from home.
And just a reminder to everybody, if you do put in orders for curbside pickup, we have added Saturday hours as well through the holidays. So 12 to 4 every day, 7 days a week, and then Wednesdays until 7.
And I wanted to say I believe all the books that I'm going to recommend today are on our shelves right now, but it's really, really important that we're going to encourage you to put your orders in for shipping, for media mail shipping by December 7th or earlier, please earlier if you can. So that's only a few more days. We've got 3 days for media mail to arrive before Christmas. And December 14th, I think it was, for ground shipping.
Right.
And again, that's highly variable. All of this is out of our control. We've been warned about shipping delays all season from UPS and the Postal Service and FedEx. So do your very, very best if you can get orders in as quickly as possible. And those dates are only for books that are on our shelves right now. If you see on our website, when you go to look at a book at the very bottom, you'll see a bright green thing that says on our shelves now, or possibly a red thing that says available from our distributor and gives you an estimate of days. We're getting to the point where we may not be able to get those available from the distributor in time for Christmas. So be careful. If you have any doubts, send an email or call the store when our phone hours are open.
Exactly. Phone hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because we need all those other days to just process orders and get them out to everybody. And one reminder about the on our shelves. We had a little confusion about this week. If it says on our shelves, it should underneath that say how many are on our shelves. We're a small store.
We don't have many copies of all of these. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we want to jump in. Do you want to do books?
Amanda's yelling, and even then it may not be right because our
That's true. It's been quite some time and inventory is shifting. So yeah.
Oh, so yes. Doing our best. Thank you all for your support. And now let's talk about some books.
Let's talk about books. Do we want to go oldest to youngest, youngest to oldest? I'm sort of in the mood to do youngest to oldest. What do you think?
Let's do youngest to oldest.
All right. Board books, my favorite. I am such a sucker for board books. My kids are much older. I have an 8.5 and a 13.5. So we're out of board books, but I still keep around my favorite ones. Again, all of the books I'm going to recommend should be on our shelves right now. So double check on the website. So the very first one I wanted to recommend was Dream Big, Little One by Vashti Harrison, which is a board book of stories of 18 Black women who are leaders and visionaries and trailblazers in the modern world. So you've got brief stories, really beautiful illustrations of the women, and then brief descriptions of who they were that are really accessible and have a lovely cadence for little ones. So Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey, Ella Fitzgerald, Katherine Johnson, Mae Jemison. I'm plugging the space stuff. It's really, really sweet and charming. And then I've got More, who's by Vera B. Williams. And she's the Caldecott winner that did A Chair for My Mother, which is one of my absolute favorite picture books ever, hands down ever. But More is really beautiful. It's got the cadence of repetition, and it tells the story of Little Guy, Little Pumpkin, and Little Bird, which are 3 little kids. And the coolest thing about this is that it has a diverse ethnicity of all the families and the babies. But it's got this perfect rhythmic cadence that babies like, and it's all about, the parents chasing the babies. And so any baby that's at that age of more that wants to pick up the book and read, and that's that phase you're in, that phase they're in, that's a perfect book for those little ones. Other babies that are into the peekaboo books where they have the lifting flaps or the see-throughs, there's a wonderful book called Peek-a-Who, which I think is really cute. I had a little one who was obsessed with owls. So like anything that said hoo-hoo or owls. Yeah. So this one's by Nita Layden, and it's the perfect book for repetition and discovery for the little ones. It's got rhyming words, it's got colorful images, and then it's got the die cut windows that you can peek through with the baby, and they're very sturdy. So no tiny flaps to rip, which is great. And it rhymes like zoo and choo-choo for like a train, and who, and then in the back it's got a mirror for you, which my kids absolutely adored when you.
Yes, that was the favorite page. Yeah.
Right. That was the favorite page. Slobber all over, of course. I want to give pieces. We've got a couple of really cute baby lit primers, and there's a couple of different types of baby lit products, but these ones we've got are really cute, and the ones we have in store are really charming. There's the Jane Eyre counting primer.
I had any. I'm in the kids section, but we've rearranged things. I think
yeah. Okay. I know we have a few in stock of each of these, or at least one in stock, but it's cute. It's a counting primer. So it's got things like 1 governess and a picture of Jane, and 2 trunks and 3 candles. And I mean, it's really, they've got these cute little simplistic, colorful pictures, and anybody who's a big fan of, classic literature that's looking for something fun, they're not boring for children. They're still fun and engaging, and adults will get a good kick of humor out of it. We have Moby Dick, which is the ocean primer. So it's teaching things about like sailors and harpoons and fish and waves. So it's really charming. You get like ocean vocabulary. Yes. And see, the pictures are stylized in a way that really appeals to kids and have, you know, these bright but monotone colors in the way that, you know, kids can focus in on the image. I love that one. It's great. So you can see the really bright contrast of the black and white makes it appealing for little babies that are still in the I want to chew a book phase, and then for older kids that are learning vocabulary. And then we have Les Mis, Jane Eyre. And then I think we also have Les Mis, which is the French language primer. And it's got 10 words and phrases in French, very simple, very easy. One more set of baby books. And if you guys are parents or are buying for parents of children, you have to know the Indestructibles, which is, they started coming out when my kids were little, and they are indestructible books. They're amazing. They are non-toxic, 100% washable. Just wipe them off with a Clorox wipe or soap and water. Yes. Is that Baby Night Night? We've also got Baby Faces, which babies love. It's big, bright, colorful faces. Yes. And they take up the whole page. We've got Baby Peekaboo, which is another really cute clay peekaboo with, and they are safe to chew, and kids cannot rip them. You cannot take them apart. They've got a really firm binding. They're one of my favorite gifts for kids. You know, when we were much littler before these came out, I really liked like fabric washable books, which are still around, but these have taken the place, and they are just as washable and indestructible. They're wonderful. So, and we should have all of these on our stock right now, in our stock.
Yeah.
So those are my baby board book, my like buy them for your little ones and read them over and over again because kids love them. You want to go to picture books? I've got picture books for ages. You know, this is obviously what, you know, your age is around 4 to 8 for independent reading, but picture books are available for anybody and anytime. Even my older kids will go back to picture books because they're familiar and they're safe. And so for anybody who's got a little dancer in their lives that loves the Nutcracker and is crying their eyes out, like my 8-year-old is crying his eyes out of not doing a Nutcracker this year, we have The Child's Introduction to Ballet by Laura Lee, and it's revised and updated. So it was published many years ago, but it also includes downloadable music tracks of classical ballets and a removable poster of the 5 positions of ballet. That's the one. It is a nice chunky book. Give us the side. Yeah, it's got a huge amount. And the sweetest thing about it is that it's stories of the different famous ballets. Yes. And interspersed in there, it's got little biographies of famous dancers and choreographers and histories of them. So anybody who is missing dancing in person and missing the Nutcracker this year. I also want to point out that the Washington Ballet is doing this Sunday December 6th at 3:00 p.m. Go to WashingtonBallet.com, and they're going to do a Nutcracker tea, and it's free. You don't have to sign up. They're streaming a tea, and I think they'll have interviews with the performers and clips and costumes, and so it might be a little bit of a replacement for the sad dancers in your life that are missing it.
We're going to check it out.
Yeah, me too. I miss it. But, you know, anything to bring the holiday spirit up. But, of course, totally having nothing to do with the holiday spirit and everything to do with the end of the world, one of my favorite books recently has been Llama Unleashes the Apocalypse.
We did an event for the bookstore a few weeks ago with a Girl Scout service unit. So we had a whole bunch of Girl Scouts, probably, I'm going to guess like 4th to 5th grade, and they were recommending these books.
Oh, yeah. So it's number 2.
It's a picture book, and they were just like, oh, and you have to read the sequel. And
they're so cute. Yeah. So the first one is Llama Destroys the World, and now this is Llama Unleashes the, and I pronounced it wrong because I didn't want to give away the pun, but I'm going to give away the pun, which is the Alpocalypse. So Llama loves cooking and eating, and it's these really cutely, highly stylized, almost comic style illustrations. They're very bright and charming. But Llama hates cleaning, so he clones his friend Alpaca, who is the neatest, tidiest person he knows, over and over and over, and unleashes the Alpocalypse. It's so cute. It's just charming and sweet. It's easy to read, very easy. Kids will want to pick it up over and over again because it's that funny, the pun and the easy play on words. So I would highly recommend that. It's so cute.
My daughter's in 2nd grade, and you know the online. We're obviously doing online learning, and every day they have some reading time.
Mhm.
And it's funny, she's been going to the picture books instead of her chapter books to
Yeah.
she'll read like 2 of them instead of, a few chapters of her chapter book. So
We have a love of like nonfiction in our house, and my 8-year-old will go and he'll pick up a nonfiction book for reading time because it's there's no drama or conflict or intensity involved, which is, there's so much of that in the rest of their lives right now.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the ones we have at home was one of the ones that I wanted to recommend next, which was Stephen, I think it's pronounced Biesti, but I apologize if it's not. His incredible cross sections of everything. And he's the illustrator, and the writer is Richard Platt. But my kids will sit and open this book up, and it is a large format hardcover book. And it follows Chester the Tester and Hector the Inspector, which are these cute little characters, to walk through these enormous pages of detailed and intricate cross sections of everything from trains and steam-powered boats and the Empire State Building. And it's perfect for kids who are mechanically inclined, or kids who like really fine detail, like the Where's Waldo books, where you have to find and look for every single little thing. And they have, some of the pages are big, quadruple fold-out pages that show you the entire span of this enormous thing. It's one of those wonderful gift books that sticks around with you for a while. If you're thinking about giving a gift to a kid who's into things like Legos or construction, or, is right at that perfect age for wanting to pick up a book and just dive into it without being concerned about reading a chapter. Those have been comfort books for my kids, is the nonfictions.
Yeah.
Speaking of comfort books, have you heard of, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's on our stocks, but Dinosaur Yoga.
No.
It's really
I've
cute.
not looked at this.
It's so cute. I mean, I was so excited when you invited me on this for office hours, because I'm like, I get to say all my favorite books. So Dinosaur Yoga is by Miriam Gates, and she's the founder of the Kid Power Yoga group. And it's all about, it starts with an introduction, and it's got these really bright colors of dinosaurs. And it's all about how dinosaurs sometimes have a hard time feeling their feelings. You feel these really big feelings, and they want to shout, yes, and they want to stomp, and they want to roar. But maybe instead of stomping and shouting and roaring, we can do a little yoga and let our breath out like a roar, and spread our arms out like a pteranodon or a pterodactyl, and reach to the sky. Yes, like the T-Rex. It's perfectly aged to be read to younger children by parents, and the pictures are perfectly illustrated so kids can do it on their own. And it's got the right kind of cadence and introduction that even just picking it up and reading it through is fine. But at the very end, it's got a glossary for parents and for kids of the dinosaurs used, and then the poses and the vocabulary used as well. So anybody who's looking for an intro to kind of get kids into the pattern of, we all have a lot of stress in our lives, and little kids are feeling it. So if you want a little something that's either an independent activity for kids or a group activity for kids, this is a charming book. It's so sweet. Let's see, picture books. How about, now this is one that's been out for a couple of years, but I think is one that I have to mention anytime anybody asks me about picture books, which is Julian is a Mermaid. And we have the hardcover in stock. It's by Jessica Love, and it's a beautiful book. It's just my heart. This book, my heart. It's a 2019 Stonewall Award book winner, and it's all about self-love and individuality and non-binary presentation and identity and family and how they react to this. So Julian and his grandmother are on I believe it's the bus. I don't have it in front of me. And he observes these wonderful ladies who are dressed up in gorgeous gowns and huge feathers. And this is what Julian wants. And Julian is a mermaid, and he wants so much to look with this beautiful elegance. And so it follows him through his journey of going through home and finding the things that will make him feel beautiful and who he is. And then his interactions with his grandmother.
Cool.
It's so sweet. You should have Miranda read it. It's so charming.
Yes. Yes, I think I will.
I have I Am Enough by Gravy Byers, and it's a beautiful book it's about self-confidence and self-esteem and self-awareness. And it features a beautiful young Black girl with natural hair and an enormous afro on the cover. And it's incredibly charming. It's almost poetic. It's like an ode to the confidence and the beauty that it is to be a young Black girl. So if you're buying for a child like that, please look into this book. It's so sweet and reaffirming and joyous and celebratory. And if you have a Star Wars lover, because I know we've got a lot of Mandalorian stuff coming out and a lot of Star Wars gear is big for the holidays. We've got young readers, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, The Galaxy Needs You, which it really is actually kind of like a book about the galaxy needs you. Only you are the uniquest person in the galaxy. Only you are the person that is like you and can be brave like you and can succeed like you. And so it follows Rey through her journey, loosely tied to the Skywalker saga, but it's very charming and very sweet, and for any kid that wants that kind of confidence but loves Star Wars. And it's an easy reader as well. It's very simple words to read.
Nice.
Yeah.
Move on to some
early chapter books.
Yeah.
I got a couple. Yeah. So moving from picture books to early chapter books, there's a lot of different levels of early chapter books. Some of the really young readers, and I actually have a couple here because we've just gotten out of this phase with Wyatt. The really, really good ones for young readers that are moving from picture books to other books are Mercy Watson by Kate DiCamillo. And she's my favorite author. I have a billion favorites, but today, for right now, she's my favorite. She did Because of Winn-Dixie and The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane and The Tale of Despero and The Magician's Elephant. Those are, middle grade books that are perfect for the next step up. But for young readers, Mercy Watson, we have Mercy Watson to the Rescue and Mercy Watson, Princess in Disguise, which is this one, because look at that. So the thing I love about this is that the words are incredibly large. They're very simple. They're not overwhelmed on the page. The illustrations are incredibly large and beautiful. There's illustrations on almost every spread page, which is great. And so it's not threatening for young readers to dive into this. The language is perfect for early and first readers.
My daughter loves those. Some of her classmates love them as well.
They're so great. And there's so many series at this level for that first early reader that are so great. Another one is Princess in Black, which is a super secret superhero identity of a crime-stopping princess. And again, just like Mercy Watson, the illustration, I got to do the mirror move, right?
It's weird, yeah.
The illustrations are so gripping and dynamic, and the words are very large, which is great for those early readers to run their finger under if they need to. There's illustrations on every page, and it's a really long series. We've got Princess in Black and The Perfect Princess Party, The Hungry Bunny Horde, Takes a Vacation, and The Mysterious Playdate in stock. And so go on our website and take a look and see what's in stock. I believe we have almost all of them in paperback as well.
Yeah, and they're still coming out. So it's one you can introduce and they can look forward to, for
yes. And I love that for the early readers, because then they get attached to a character and they want to read through and they want to keep going. Another one that we got really attached to is Mia Mayhem.
Ooh, we haven't read that one.
Oh, Miranda's going to love it. Mia's fabulous. And this is another one that has several coming out already scheduled into 2021. We have Mia Mayhem Gets X-Ray Specs and Mia Mayhem and the Super Family Field Day. But just take a look at a little bit of a difference. If you're not familiar with the different grades of how we classify early readers, you can just look and see the difference from the early Mercy Watsons. This has illustrations on every page. The words are a little smaller, and then there is more language in it. But it's dynamic and it's fun, and it's such an easy conflict and resolution chapter style book for early readers that everything is really satisfying and fun, and she makes good decisions but has to solve problems and do it independently and is very confident. So I love those. Yeah. All right. How much time? Should we jump ahead to middle grade, or do you want me to do a few more chapter books?
Probably. Well, I pulled one, although we only have one in the series in the store, but there is one.
Oh, yes. The A to Z Mysteries.
Miranda just discovered these because Trish recommended them to a friend of mine who was looking for some books for her daughter.
Yeah.
And I know both her daughter and mine have stayed up late to finish them on their own.
Yeah.
Miranda, we did not know she was doing this.
Isn't that a rite of passage? I mean, I feel like if you get books for a kid, you need to give them a flashlight so they can be under there, reading at night. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But she had to find out what happened, and she read it all by herself. And yeah, so those books are really good, and I'm sure we'll be getting more in, but that's what's here right now.
there's another early reader called My Kite is Stuck, and it's part of a series called Duck, Duck, Porcupine, which I don't know why, but it just makes me giggle every time I say it. But this one is for the really earliest readers. So kids that are just coming out of word recognition and sentence structuring. So they're just starting to read a sentence together. So this one has very short single sentences on each page with full color illustrations. I think we have the second one in the series, which is called My Kite is Stuck, but it's small stories that string together. So it's really easy to do, a very short bite size. And because it's so bright and easily recognizable, kids can pick it up and read it on their own, or with help start recognizing those words. It's perfect for kids who are just starting into the Elephant and Piggy books. It's that style. So it's before you get to Mercy Watson and Princess in Black, try the Duck, Duck, Porcupine.
Porcupine, I love it.
I know, right? I know. All right. Middle grade. Yeah. Middle grade is my jam. Oh my gosh, there's so much
right now.
Oh, there's so much good stuff coming out. I had a really hard time with this one. Like, my heart is with the little kid books. I love them, but I'm not actively reading them with my kids right now. And middle grade is just exploding with amazing stuff. The primary reason for me is the Rick Riordan's Presents imprint line. If anybody says middle grade, I'm going to scream Rick Riordan all the time. So my favorites recently have been Sal and Gabby Break the Universe, which is followed shortly by Sal and Gabby Fix the Universe. And this is by the absolutely delightful Carlos Hernandez. And they are hands down some of the best middle grade books that have ever been written. They're dynamic and they're fun and the characters are engaging and individual, and there's magic and there's mayhem and heaping plates of Cuban food and the manipulation of time and space, and kids get into trouble but then fix it, which I just love the autonomy and the agency that he gives these kids who are fun and interesting characters and develop this unusual friendship between the two of them.
And I just want to say, just for people who don't know, middle grade, when we say middle grade, we're really talking like 4th grade, 5th grade.
4th to 7th is the range they generally give. Okay. My kid's in 3rd grade and he's reading middle grade, but with help. That it really depends on your reader. Middle grade comes before young adult, and young adult we consider is like 8th grade and up. So think at the top of junior high range. And really the differences there start getting a little more fuzzy and become more topical. And so what content is covered as opposed to reading level. Middle grade is the last threshold of reading level that gives you. So you're going to get very advanced vocabulary and language in here for kids. And you might want to make sure kids know you can check in with them about it, because it's a big jump from chapter books to middle grade. But this is where you get really dynamic, interesting, engaging, adventures and conflicts and cool stuff. So yeah, I would say 4th to 7th grade, but know that range depends on the kid.
Right.
So Kwame Alexander, who is an absolutely phenomenal author, I wanted to recommend 2 books, one of which is a nonfiction, and he wrote with James Patterson, famous crime writer, and it's called Becoming Muhammad Ali. And so it's a nonfiction book, but it's written both in prose and poetry being what Kwame Alexander does in the most exquisite, masterful way. And it doesn't shy away from the struggles and the racism that he experienced. It also has beautiful illustrations, and it was authorized by the Ali estate. So I'd recommend that for the kid in your life who's looking for a little nonfiction. And then we have all 3 books of the crossover series of Kwame Alexander, which is books that follow kids that are talented in certain areas, like sport areas, but other areas. So for example, the very first one's the crossover, and it's about twins Josh and Jordan Bell. They're basketball stars. Josh is also a rapper. So the rhythm of the verse of the book, so the book is written in verse. And the rhythm of the verse of the book follows his basketball experience and helps him and aids him. And it becomes an absolute inherent part of the way that you're reading and engaging in this story. And then we've also got Booked and Rebound. Booked follows a different kid who is a soccer player, faces bullying and problems at home and girl problems. And, this is 12-year-old. So that's the protagonist of the character. That's that middle grade age. Mm-hmm. And then Rebound takes us back to the Bell family, to Josh and Jordan's dad, Charlie, and his love of basketball and jazz. And we've even got the graphic novel adaptation of the first book in stock. And they are great for kids. I don't like using the word reluctant readers, but kids who are more focused on things like athleticism and maybe who have a hard time reading really dense, long books. So the graphic novel is wonderful for bringing those kids in, but also the verse makes it very, very accessible because you start to hear the rhythm of the words in your mind and becomes inherently crucial to understanding the topic of the book. He's so great. He's so masterful. Okay, so maybe one or two more. How are we doing on time? Can I squeeze one? Okay, good. Because Rebecca Roanhorse is writing, she's a speculative fiction writer and is writing some of the most dynamic and interesting speculative fiction out there at all, ever. She's amazing. She's winning all the awards and her stuff is on the top of...
I've seen her on some of the best of.
I was gonna say Rosie and I will scream about her name, but she's also written a middle grade book and it's called Race to the Sun. And it's another Rick Riordan imprints book. It's a novel about magic, about a Navajo girl who discovers that she's a monster slayer through her heritage. And she has to race to the sun god to get magical weapons in order to defeat the monster who's also an oil tycoon, in order to release your father who's been kidnapped. And it's like the stakes of the book are juicy and intense and the cultural heritage is exquisitely portrayed. And it's just a fast-paced, moving, dynamic adventure. I highly recommend it.
So Amanda's selling some books from the middle grade section.
Yeah.
No Jason Reynolds.
Oh, Jason, anything and everything, long way down. Oh,
Yes,
anything.
I think she just may have pulled the last ones off of the shelf.
Oh, well, check on our website. I will recommend anything and everything always by Jason Reynolds and Kwame Alexander, two extraordinary Black authors that deserve to be on every kid's bookshelf, especially in middle grade, because they're both dealing with things that are very, very topical this present moment when we're dealing with police violence and harm and the legacies of violence against people of color and Black people and Indigenous people. These are books that your kids should read. And they are also fantastic books.
And Jason, I believe this weekend for Small Business Saturday, bought up all of his own books from the local DC stores and then gave them away.
Yes, he bought out all the stock and then told everybody they're free, which is great. Now, we are not in DC and we may still have some Jason Reynolds for sale. So I would highly recommend checking the website. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
we'll still get some in, though, if they're not on the website right now.
Well, did I squeeze in my time okay? Because I have lots more.
I think we're 5:02. I think we're done for today.
So really, if anybody has any questions, feel free to text me or feel free to tweet One More Page books, just one more page. Let us know if you have questions. We're happy to recommend amazing books for you.
Yes, always. And I will add a bunch of these to our event page on the website. And I'll add a link here to that. And Kelly and our book buyer, Trish, also did an awesome book banter about children's books a few weeks ago. So I'll include that link too. So we got lots of recommendations for you.
Yes.
All right. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Friday evening. Happy Friday, everyone. It was so nice to see you, Amber.
You too. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.